thanks for joining me again today in another video for my Sketch to Scrap Saturday video series. So I'm really grateful for you being here, and today I've got a sketch for you which contains two 3x4 photos. I essentially printed both of those photos out onto a 4x6 photo paper. And an interesting element of this sketch is that it contains two tags, but fear not, even if you don't have any tags in your stash, I'll be actually creating my own. So let's get started. So the first thing I am doing here is just working out what kind of tag I want to use. I want to use a white tag, but I don't have any white tags. Well, I don't have two white tags in my stash, the right size that I want to use, so I decided to just create one myself. And the way I did that is essentially just using I use a tag that I've got in my stash, and just draw an outline of that and cut it out of the just a basic white cardstock. And yeah, that's essentially what I did. And then the next thing I'll be doing is essentially just poke a hole. I'll be using I think it's a hole punch, which is a 1/4 of an inch hole punch, and I bought this one from Fiskus. But to be honest, a crocodile would be fine as well. I actually prefer a 1/4 of an inch, just mainly because it's a little bit bigger than what you can get from a crocodile. And the next thing I'm doing here is just cutting up two circles, and these are half an inch circle out of a piece of scrap paper that I've got. I believe this is just the leftover portion of I think a pattern paper from the Maggie Holmes Bloom collection, so it's essentially a branding strip. And I just hole punched that once again, and one of the hole was a little bit off center, so I decided to just re-punch that. And now I'm just doing the punching. And that's essentially it. So I've created two tags, and now I'm just going to embellish these two tags using just a bunch of stamps. So I'm just looking through my story stamps by Ali Edwards, and what I'm trying to get at is just getting a few kind of stamp, I guess, that contains almost like good saying, something fun, something awesome, etc. And I don't actually want them to be too big, so I want it to be almost like a typewriting font. And so I chose this one that is actually from, so this one is from the story stamp called Spark. And I've chosen two stamps, and I believe one of them says like totally awesome, the other one says excited about this. And I'm going to be stamping, I guess, repetitively directly onto this tag. So I punch another circle of a piece of scrap paper to make sure that I cover the pattern paper part of that tag. And I'm just stamping directly onto this tag. I'm not really being very careful, to be honest, because I think it's mostly going to be covered anyway. I just want a little bit of kind of almost texture and a bit of pattern onto the tag rather than it being white, so it pops out of the page. And the next thing I'm doing here is I'm just cleaning up the stamps that I was using. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll choose two more. Actually, I think I'll be choosing 3 more, just mainly because 2 of them were a bit short. So I'm just choosing 3 more stamps. So I think it says something like, yes, remember this, and like my fire. Just something positive, to be honest. And then I'm just doing exactly the same thing, which is just repetitively stamping directly onto that tag to create essentially your own pattern paper. And yeah, that's essentially it. So I've just used the VersaFine black ink, my go-to black ink, and I just clean that up using some baby wipes. So Just in case some of you are interested, I'm just using the, I think it's Huggies baby wipes. They're actually quite, they're normally quite expensive, but because I only used a portion of it, so I thought, you know, it's good quality, why not? And so the next thing I'm doing here is I'm just thinking about what I want to kind of decorate the right side of the spread with. I'm going to be using, I guess, a bunch of embellishments from the Hip Kit Club. I think this one is from February 2016. And two of the things I'll be using are actually from the pink paisley, I think it's called Celeste V or Sword. I think it's a new, well, actually no, not that new collection anymore, but it's really nice. It's almost like a Valentine colors, so a lot of pink, a lot of, you know, really nice kind of muted little bit color. And as you can see there, I've just stuck down the photos as well as the tag, and I'm just going to be threading through the hole, just using, I bought a roll of these kind of embroidery floss, I believe, yeah. It's just my go-to one, to be honest. I like it. It's just not too thick, but also not too thin. And it's kind of an off-white color, so it doesn't look too, you know, too out there, I guess. So that is it for the tags. And then the next thing I'll be doing here is just spelling out my title, which is going to be Brunch. And I'm using the chipboards. The alphabet chipboards are actually from Basic Grey. These are really old, so they're actually from the June Bug collection, which I don't know, it's probably a couple of years old now. These are the only alphabet stickers that I've got that are big enough, because I actually want them to be quite big, so and these are the only ones I've got, to be honest. So I decided to go with this one. I actually quite like the color as well. It's almost a muted polka dot color, and I stuck it down. It wouldn't fit directly as a straight line, so I just kind of pulled down the U. And the next thing you see me doing here is just cutting up my journaling. I journal directly onto a 304 Project Live card. So this is the basic line card that I've got in my stash. I use my typewriter to type out my journaling, and then just cutting them into strips here. And the next thing you see me do is just cutting off the excess that's on the right of that strip. And I mean, there's two ways that you can actually take these journaling strips. You can actually do what I am doing here, which is just put it on the top right. And another way is just to put directly underneath that brunch. But to go with the sketch, I decided to just put it on the top right, just to do something different. And I'll be doing some, putting some embellishments underneath the word brunch there, instead of, the usual journaling strips there. And stuck down using my glossy accent. It's my go-to kind of liquid glue, to be honest, and also it's really good for when you have small kind of pieces of paper that you want to stick down. And the next thing you see me doing here is just, I was going through a bunch of embellishments that are actually from the die cut pieces, the die cut pack, and this one is the pink paisley one. I actually got this one from the Hip Kit Club February 2016 kit. And then I'm just popping this up using my foam dots. I got these new foam dots from my local scrapbooking store. It's relatively cheap. It's a bit cheaper than the American Crafts one. So I think that sheet was like $3 or something. So, and you get I think it's like 300 strips, so it's pretty good value. And the next thing you see me doing here is just popping up this heart, which once again came from the Hip Kit Club as well as from Pink Paisley, just so that it doesn't go up, because I want to overlap that on top of that circle you and me, that black you and me thing. I'm also cutting up these 304 card, which is from I think it's from the Seafoam collection. So it's a core kit, a Project Live core kit. It's relatively old. It's probably still available from Becky's website, Becky Higgins' website. But to be honest, any tags or any strips like that would be fine too. And the next thing you see me doing here is just going through the washi booklet. This one is from Maggie Holmes, and I believe it's actually from the Bloom collection. So I've chosen a gold colour one just so that it coordinate with that gold, with the gold stuff that's from the Pink Paisley embellishment pack. I stuck it down using my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. So that is it. So here's the sketch once again. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be posting the sketch as per usual on my blog. So that would be eatscrapbake.wordpress.com. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And as per usual, if you want YouTube to let you know when my next video comes out, please subscribe. And here's some close-ups, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!